Welcome to R&R Showtime with Robert
and Ryan.
And today we will be doing a podcast about Star Wars The Bad Batch, episodes 4 and 5.
Sorry we're late on those, folks.
Yep. I just came back from Vegas. I was hammered the whole time.
The previous weekend, it was your birthday, so who can blame you for not wanting to do a podcast?
Yeah, just too many things. Actually, just way too busy. So, but glad to get back to it. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So, first impressions of both episode 4 and 5.
What are the episode names, if they have them? Cornered and Rampage.
Mm-hmm.
I think I find the show to be continually being good, being of quality. Somewhere in between the quality of Clone Wars and Mandalorian, closer to the quality of Clone Wars, but I feel like it. I may be enjoying it out of the gate more than I enjoyed Clone Wars out of the gate.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely figured out how to do it right since Clone Wars in the beginning was just like not done by Disney, obviously done by Cartoon Network.
It was on Cartoon Network, yeah. But I presumably through
Lucasfilms, yeah. And it was, the beginning of Clone Wars, I'll say it time and time again, was a slog. Like, I barely wanted to watch it. I had to start and stop it multiple times and had to have my friends tell me multiple times, it gets better, just get through it. And once I did, you're pleasantly surprised. But Bad Batch, I've been enjoying it the whole time. So, I definitely don't think it has any of the issues that Clone Wars did. I will say, I don't think it's as good as The Mandalorian.
No, it's not. I just think it keeps making me think of The Mandalorian. It's a lot more similar plot structure wise to Mandalorian than it is to Clone Wars.
Right, like it's a episodic but continuing story, sort of.
Yeah, it's there's an aspect to the Clone Wars where all of the fighting happening, there were things where you wouldn't necessarily expect what was going to happen, but also you follow so many different tracks that you're not following one continuous story. Whereas with this, you're continually following this one ship flying around with this mysterious young being who has some secret that we're probably going to learn about towards the end of the season, what makes them special or why they're being hunted for this. And there's a bounty hunter involved, and it's one of the bounty hunters that's in The Mandalorian.
But and the young mysterious being is flying along with, an armored, morally good yet gets things done in a, morally questionable way characters. So yeah, I can see some more similarities in how it's running there. But yeah, Mandalorian is certainly a cut above this. But nonetheless, I'm enjoying it. I think I liked episode 4 more than I liked episode 5, but they're both, good. Like so far I wouldn't say there's any episode that's not very good. I will actually say episode 3 is probably my least favorite at this point.
Episode 3 was...
That's the moon one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But that's the one with Crosshair killing the civilians. That's kind of cool.
It is kind of cool, but the whole moon thing is just
I like the Crosshair part of that episode more than
one thing I will say about the Bad Batch is that they're moving the story along, like they're continuing to go to places, but it feels like filler almost. Like episode 4, I feel like there was more of like a real plot point occurring there. Whereas like episode 3 on the moon doesn't really feel the moon thing feels like filler. Like
the moon was filler so that we could get the forward arcing of Camino.
Yeah,
because we didn't see Camino in these last 2 episodes.
Yeah, so yeah, that's kind of how it feels a little bit. I mean, it's not like it's bad; it's enjoyable, but I just I think I've gotten used to maybe I feel like the Bad Batch is set up so it's going to have a lot more like kind of fun filler-ish episodes than like we've been watching WandaVision and like Captain Winter Soldier, where every episode is, other than maybe the first 3 episodes of WandaVision, is like pushing the plot forward. Like it's definitely like a movement, and there's not really any like wasted time because they're working sort of they're trying to stuff a lot of things into a limited amount of episodes to say. And I don't really feel that with Bad Batch. I feel like they're taking their time. They're kind of having fun with it, and that's nice. It's just not something that super appeals to me. I like watching the story move forward and doing the things.
Here's the thing. I think going forward, we're going to need to do these podcasts every 2 episodes because one episode's just not going to fill it. Because there are certainly forward arching things going on, but like it's just makes more sense to talk about them 2 episodes at a time. Like we can talk about it. There's just not enough to say about one episode at a time.
Yeah. So that's why we're gonna probably go forward with just hitting these 2 at a time. All right. Yeah. So overall, the episodes were good, and liked the 4 better than 5. And I guess we should just get right into summarizing them and talking about some key points.
Let's do this.
So
episode 4.
Episode 4.
Cornered.
Yeah, they are traveling. They need to repair the ship, and so they need money and supplies. And so they land on the planet Pantora.
Yeah. I remember I was like, that's almost Pandora.
We land there, and Hunter and Echo and Omega all together go, sort of in disguise. Hunter wears his civilian outfit that apparently only he has because nobody else has put on a regular outfit. Echo puts on a disguise to look like a droid,
which I thought was like when he walked up before putting the helmet over, I was like, did Echo always look like this, like a freaking robot? And then he put the cover over, and I was like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, it is kind of cool. Very cool helmet, I would say. Yeah, and they go out disguised. Omega just looks like a girl, so she doesn't need to wear a disguise.
Omega.
They go in to the market. They're looking around, and they encounter some general trader kind of guy. And Hunter's trying to barter for the equipment that they have, and the guy's like, I don't want any of that stuff. That's like black market. There's like explosives and things. I don't have anything to do with that. But they go to basically strike up a deal to exchange Echo because he wants another droid and he thinks his droid looks nice. And obviously they aren't aware that he is not a droid. So,
and they sell Echo at a bargain.
Yep. While this is occurring, while they are doing this exchange, Omega kind of gets distracted and wanders off running after her doll, or
the doll ends up like in something's hands and then it pulls it away.
Yeah.
Also, so we actually skipped over something else that's worth noting. When they landed on Pantora, they landed in a garage or of some sort.
Yeah.
And they pay off the guy manning the garage to not mention or to just like not scan their ship and to just sort of leave them alone. And then we see the guy scamper off and send a message that, the thing you're looking for is here, or something along those lines. And we get a cut to a person on a ship. It does not appear to be Empire related, which I found interesting at this point to see that he wasn't ratting them out to the Empire. He was ratting them out to someone. And so, and then we see this someone has like an image of Omega that looks like that this it is shown as a female at this point, that she's after Omega.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing we also glossed over is that while Hunter, Echo, and Omega are gone, Tech and Wrecker are basically changing the ship's code so that if they arrive somewhere that they aren't immediately flagged as being themselves. So that's what they're busying themselves with.
They're basically taking the ship apart.
Yeah. Wrecker is taking the ship apart and Tech is
supervising.
Supervising, trying to make sure he doesn't destroy the ship in the process. But so Omega gets kind of distracted and runs off and is found by a concerned citizen that that looks relatively familiar if you recognize the character model and what they're wearing and the voice. And we know that this person, though in the story it does not reveal it, in this episode we don't even get the name, but we know that this is the bounty hunter
Fennec
Shaw.
Yeah.
Right? And voiced by Ming-Na Wen, who, fun fact that I learned from Ryan just recently, I don't know if anybody else knew this, maybe I'm actually the only one. not only is in Agents of Shield, which I watch, but is the voice of Mulan, like the original voice of Mulan from that cartoon when we were kids. I was like mind blown over that. I just was like, what? So that's besides the fact, but I just thought it was cool. We know this to be Fennec Shaw, bounty hunter from The Mandalorian, that ends up, joining The Mandalorian and fighting with Boba Fett and being like his second in command by the end of season 2. Sorry, spoilers for Mandalorian. If you haven't watched it, watch
Watch
what
The
are you doing?
Mandalorian.
Watch The Mandalorian.
And watch BoJack Horseman.
Yeah, sure. Do that too, I guess. But she, basically offers Omega help and kind of, there's like a little moment where she like steals some food slyly and, wittily. And it's helping Omega at first to get back to her friends, but not really.
Yeah, I mean, we can see she says, "Oh, let me help you to find your people," and we see them walk in the opposite direction of where we saw Omega coming from.
Yeah, but luckily Hunter realizes that Omega's gone and he's on the trail. He ends up finding them, tells Omega, "Hey, step away," and basically Hunter and Fennec Shaw start battling it out. And really, Hunter's like, "Get out of here, Omega." She starts to run. They battle. Fennec Shaw gets the upper hand on Hunter and pursues Omega like into some sewers, and then like up, she has to like climb up, like a tower. Wrecker shows up to help after, a call goes out on the comms. And Fennec Shaw basically like
Fennec Shand. Sorry.
Fennec Shand. Sorry, everybody. Fennec Shand. Robert, you're an idiot. Why didn't you know that? You watch The Mandalorian. You're not a real Star Wars fan. I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm not that smart. Sorry. But yeah, Fennec Shand easily handles Wrecker, like takes him down, which is relatively. I mean, we can see that Wrecker's not like a skilled fighter. He's just a big kind of brute. But still, it was impressive to see her just handle him. So she's pursuing Omega. Omega ends up climbing all the way up to this tower. She's hanging there. Fennec is pursuing her. She falls into some flying cars and stuff. And again, they're basically all still pursuing. They're just, Fennec is following her on these, like, on the sky. What's called like the Skyway. Yeah, Skyway,
Yeah.
Hunter is following behind. He gets like a vehicle and makes it to where they are.
Meanwhile, Echo is
he's arranging a droid rebellion right now, currently.
Yeah, so the shopkeep that bought him had a C-3PO type unit.
Yeah.
And a protocol droid, right?
Yeah.
And then 3 like the R2 type droids.
Yeah.
And
he's like, "You're the one in charge now." Boop, boop, boop. And he walks in there. He's like, "I'm in charge." Stupid droids. They don't like it at first, but then he's like, "Hey, how about this? You guys come help me, and you can be free or whatever." So he
takes off their what are the
restraining bolts?
Yeah.
Takes off the restraining bolts and says, "Come with me." Leads them out and basically takes them back to help fix the ship that's been taken apart
because now they need to make a quick getaway.
Yeah, Tech is assisting. He's like hacked the system. He's got the security cameras and he's helping Hunter find Omega. Hunter catches up with Fennec and Omega. There's like a back and forth as they're like jumping from car to car, and like an explosion happens and all these things. But in the end, they lose Fennec Shaw. Hunter gets Omega and gets her back. Wrecker heads back after waking up from being knocked out, and they all basically meet back, and the droids assist Echo and Tech in putting the ship back together, and they're ready to make an escape and get out of Pantora with some credits in hand, and now apparently some new enemy that's following them, and with the intention to try to find out who they are, because
we see her pay off the garage guy that tipped her off and tell him to basically keep an eye out and let her know if he sees him again.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and that's pretty much the end of that episode.
Yep.
Any key points you want to, mention on this one?
Well, the key points are that Omega continues to be a point of a bit of, ooh, what's the secret? What's there? I know you've had the theory of possibly force powers before, which I think I'm becoming less inclined to think that's it, because it would have shown itself in some way at this point, I think. But something's there with Omega. And then Fennec, just her introduction, it's cool. It's cool to see her.
Yeah, it's cool. Sly. They don't mention her name. It really is just kind of like a cool like, oh, whoa, it's her. It's and even, again, when I was watching it, I didn't remember her name, but I did know who it was supposed to be.
Yeah, I looked at her and I was just like, oh yeah, that's the bounty hunter lady from Mandalorian.
And what I like is, and in the next episode, we also get this. I like this calling back or calling. I mean, I don't even, you can say forward, I guess, because Mandalorian's is in the future of this.
Yeah.
Far in the future. But yeah, like this calling out to other parts of the series, connecting the dots of this, universe. I always think that it is an interesting thing with Star Wars that we have movies that literally span all these different time, like these different points in the timeline, right? We have a movie that, like, the very first movies are, if we consider those like the basis, that's like the starting point of the Star Wars universe. And then we have the next movies jump back in time, and then we have the like following things we see, like the Clone Wars are an in between of those two, and then when we get the newer movies, we have Rebels, that's also an in between. We have some of the new movies, Rogue One, again in between past movies like Solo. We get into the future movies, which are the new Force Awakens, all that. This interesting like jumping around the timeline, and how there were so many questions in between these different main event, the movies being like the main event timelines, right? And each maybe movie in between.
What's happening when the Skywalkers aren't fucking stuff up?
Yeah, exactly. It's nice that we just get more filling in all of these like little sections in between, and I just think it's cool.
Well, so I appreciate the interconnectivity of things, but I have heard criticism sometimes of, does everything need to be so connected? Like, for example, did we need to see I can't remember his name right now, but the Jedi from Rebels, did we need to see his origin story in the Bad Batch? No, it's cool. It's an Easter egg, but at the same time, it's like, oh wow, this is connected. So he's connected in a way to the Bad Batch, who are now connected to Fennec, who is in Mandalorian, where we see Ahsoka Tano, who's
in the Clone Wars and in Rebels,
and also has the Mandalorian lady from Rebels.
Yeah,
I can't remember her name.
Which Mandalorian lady from Rebels?
The red-haired one.
Bo-Katan.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that is actually a fair criticism, and I can't understand why people be like, why does everything have to be connected? But it's just like, honestly, my personal feeling is that it's just fun. It makes me, it gives you a lot of these, oh, look at that moments, and in some ways, maybe it could be representative of the idea that the Force, right? The Force is supposed to be the kind of like this guiding force. I mean, it's trying to right itself. It's trying to bring things into a good place. So,
and here, I think it works with Star Wars specifically, because Star Wars, like, even as long ago as the prequels, we see them sort of like, because established within the three original movies, C-3PO and R2-D2 are just two robots. Established within the prequel series, R2-D2 is like one of Anakin's best friends, and he built C-3PO.
Yeah, exactly. See, I mean, I think Star Wars has basically been doing it since they started making the new movies and everything.
Yeah.
And I like to believe it's something like the Force is guiding everything. Everything is connected. It's almost like a fate, right? The Force moves through everything and sort of guides all these things to happen. And yeah, all these things come into contact because they're all kind of meant to.
Overall, I agree with it. I like the interconnectivity of things, but I've heard criticism of it before.
Yeah. Now, if there could be some criticism, I would say I could see it more in this next one, right? So, do you have any more that you want to talk about?
I find it interesting. I think I know what you're going to get at as being interconnected, and I looked it up, and it's more like a fun teaser Easter egg than connectivity in the way you think it is.
Okay.
I think I know what you're thinking, because I think I thought it too. But
I think I know what you're thinking because I think I thought it too.
Can I get that on a t-shirt?
that could be a t-shirt. Hey, watch out for the t-shirts coming soon, guys. R&R Showtime. I think I know what you're thinking because I think I thought it too.
I really want that as a shirt now. But episode 5, let's jump into that. What's the episode title?
Rampage.
All right.
All right, this episode's about a huge monkey and a lizard that are battling.
And they have to climb buildings.
Yes, and break them down. They score points for it, and the Bad Batch is there.
Rampage.
Yeah.
It's a movie with Dwayne Johnson, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. In all seriousness, though, folks.
How does this episode start? They are in space.
They are in space, and they have to go to a planet for reasons.
So, hoping to discover who hired Shan to retrieve Omega, the Bad Batch go to Ord Mantell, where Echo knows of a Jedi informant named Sid. So we get to basically Echo knows where Sid is, but doesn't know who Sid is. So we get to this bar, and they approach the barkeeper, whoever, and they ask her, do you know of this Sid? And she's just like, no, you're in the wrong place, get out of here. And then Omega is basically like,
walks up and uses the Force to know that it's Sid.
See, I can see an aspect of that being some Force sensitivity. I actually do buy it there.
And see, again, it's very subtle. It's not like she's using the Force here, but it's like, why would she know that?
I mean, it's like the Force that Leia has.
Yeah,
where it's not.
It's just a sensing, just being aware, like seeing the truth a little bit. And again, it could just be in the end, like if she's not Force sensitive, I could see how it could be like, well, yeah, she wasn't Force sensitive. She's just insightful.
I know. Just a few minutes ago, I said that I don't think she's Force sensitive, but she is Force sensitive. I'm definitely just like remembering the time where she went up to Crosshair and said, I know what you're gonna do. Like that's some Force stuff. That's not, she didn't have that information, she just knew it.
Yeah, literally, she basically told the future. Like there was no indication that Crosshair was gonna do anything, and she was like, I know what you're gonna do, and it's okay. That's you have the Force. Like that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what there else, but if there's something else, maybe she's just especially insightful. But I mean, in Star Wars, especially insightful is Force sensitive. I mean,
but she reveals that the barkeep is Sid, and Sid agrees to help them find out the identity of the bounty hunter if they do something for her. And so they're basically tasked with
recovering a Moochie, a child, and some sort of
child named Moochie.
Yeah. And they're like, okay, let's go do it and recover them from slave traders, which is like, okay, cool, solid. Like, it's not like Sid's asking them to do anything bad. It's like, go get a child from some slave traders.
And so we see them get to the place where the slave traders are, and they're scouting it out. And Hunter basically devises the plan, and they go in and they tell Omega to wait on the ship. And they promptly
get
caught.
They get caught. Like this big flying beast like knocks Echo over, which makes a noise, and then they're found out, and they try to fight them, and they get caught by like a laser net. And yeah, they just get wrecked. So,
and Omega is tipped off to this when slavers come to the ship to check to see if there's anyone on board, but she manages to stealth out without being caught. And then when she tries to reach out to the guys, their communication devices, which she was just given one this episode, do not respond. And so she goes down to the slave encampment to basically try and help them, and she pretty much succeeds in doing that.
Really mainly by there's a cage with some kind of beast in it, and she unlocks it and is found out almost immediately after sneaking through the camp and kind of avoiding detection mostly, even though she did sort of bring a little bit of attention when she knocks some rocks over. She unlocks this cage right as she's found out, and out of the cage comes like a baby Rancor, and it just starts tearing stuff up, and it creates enough of a distraction that the Omega is able to help the batch get their equipment.
Wrecker pulls his off.
Oh, yeah, Wrecker pulls off. He just really tears all his stuff apart.
But they are able to get their equipment, and they basically...
Yeah, they go to save the child Moochie, a green alien. I'm not sure what race they're supposed to be, and they find out that, in fact, the green alien child Moochie is not Moochie. And the father of this green alien child, we assume, points at the Rancor and says, that's Moochie. And so we find out, this child is literally a Rancor, a baby Rancor.
And so, with the help of the Rancor, essentially to beat all these slavers, we get an action sequence. They take out the slavers with the help of the Rancor Muchi.
Yeah. Wrecker and the Rancor, Tech basically says like Rancors like have a hierarchy and you have to like, show you're the strongest. So Wrecker and the Rancor like have a 20-minute, like fist fight to I guess it doesn't even seem like he really establishes dominance or anything. He just wears the Rancor out. Like
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. And then, they end up like making it docile and they take it back.
Yeah.
During this time, we are skipping a couple like little scenes that we got. Just a couple of them, because really that's all the main things that we covered there. But we have Sid talking to, again, this is a callback to, or call forward, to the original Star Wars movies, Bib Fortuna, the second in command for Jabba the Hutt. And later, once they deliver the Rancor, we find that the Rancor is being delivered to Bib Fortuna. It's
for Jabba the Hutt, yeah.
Yeah, for Jabba the Hutt. And now this is, and that is essentially where, and then that is when, well, we'll get to it in a second, but that's when Sid reveals, hey, this is Fennec Shan. She's a new but pretty skilled bounty hunter.
And they've been told that she's on a private contract right now.
Yeah, so Sid doesn't know who hired her, but the Bounty Hunters Guild should know.
Yeah.
And so I think Sid basically sends them on the track to like go. They want to find out more, they would have to go find it from them, and gives them I think it's like the Bounty Hunter Guild chip or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also a cut of the proceeds from recovering the Rancor.
And there's a slight you get the sense that Hunter doesn't really get the best vibe from Sid, but Sid basically in a way sort of says, you guys must be pretty valuable, but then also sort of offers, hey, if you need more information or you need work, I'm here.
Yeah. And, Sid just represents more of the sort of the roguish characters that exist all throughout Star Wars. There's tons of like more morally dubious, like probably, working in their own self-interest generally, but like also generally not like terrible, bad people. I mean, clearly she was like, I'm just doing this for money, really, but, it was still helpful. And as long as it worked out for her.
Yeah. And throughout this episode, we're also getting more of the Bad Batch not thinking Omega can handle things, and then she proves herself to be more valuable to them than they seem to let her be.
Yeah, which is nice. Again, her being not only like a female, but like a younger adolescent that kids can portray with. Again, it brings back this theme and this feeling of like, hey, you're a kid or you're a girl. I mean, again, like, everything's equal and you're able to do things and provide value and help out, even if it doesn't seem like you have much to offer, which is, it's cool. It's good that they have that kind of message in the show. Like there's probably a lot of kids that watch this and it's, just good lesson.
Yeah.
But
let's talk about Jabba's Rancor.
Yeah. Jabba's Rancor. Okay. So from what
we have
said,
the exact same thought of what what Muchi is.
Yeah, Muchi is the Rancor that grows up to be the big Rancor that Luke eventually gets dropped into the pit with and kills it.
And I immediately Googled that because I was like, you expect me to grow fond of this cute little Rancor and then tell me that it's the one that Luke kills? And no, it's not.
What the?
Well, so
then what is it? Okay, why is it not that Rancor?
That Rancor has a name. That Rancor is also male, so it has a different name than Muchi, and it's different sex than Muchi.
Ah, okay.
And the presumption being that Jabba just likes exotic animals.
He just likes having Rancors.
Yeah. It like this is also like 20 something years removed, the age of Luke, pretty much, because Luke is just born at this point. So we don't know how old Rancors can be. Maybe Muchi had a long life and died.
Yeah, right. I mean, it seems. I mean, it doesn't seem like Jabba even like made his Rancor fight. It just dropped things in there to get eaten. So unless there was another skilled bounty hunter guy that killed Muchi and stuff. So I don't know, but I mean, it's good to, I guess, to have it confirmed that that's not it. But it's it's still that same kind of Easter eggy, like, and I mean, here's a Bad Batch interacting with Bib Fortuna again, like this
And Jabba,
interconnectedness, yeah.
It-
But I'll say this is that Fennec Shand, right? There's probably thousands of bounty hunters that could have been the ones tracking the Bad Batch, right? So them dropping in Fennec Shand actually makes to say like if you it feels a little more forced. Jabba the Hutt is a big deal across like galaxies, right? So like he's running like a whole crime syndicate. So the idea that
and they're dealing with Sid specifically, who presumably operates in the same circles as Jabba.
yeah, so it almost seems more believable that they would interact with Jabba the Hutt or a servant of his, Bib Fortuna. That's almost more plausible than that Fennec Shand would be the bounty hunter that's after Omega.
See, yeah, I agree, especially when they establish that Fennec is a new bounty hunter who just happens to be really good.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why is she a new bounty hunter and she's on this mission already? I don't know.
And she's the only one tasked with the mission. No, like, elite bounty hunter. They give it to this bounty hunter who's new, but is also exceptional, which in a way kind of robs the Fennec in Mandalorian of her specialness, because you assume that it's like the Mandalorian, she gets her skills after years and years of work to get to her point, as opposed to she was always good at it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I think there's an opportunity here to learn a little bit more about Fennec.
Yes,
in the Bad Batch, and we don't know that she didn't put in some kind of like long, like I spent my whole childhood doing some kind of training or blah blah.
Yeah,
and a Republic fight.
And we can see that hopefully that is established so that we give that. But like right now, it's just like, you're right. It seems a little bit more convenient that Fennec is the bounty hunter than Jabba the Hutt showing up or any of the other little Easter eggs.
Yeah. So I still like Fennec Shand. I like that. Still, even if I would say it's more plausible that we see Bib Fortuna here than Fennec Shand there, I still like Fennec Shand. I like that. I'm totally fine with that. I think Fennec Shand is a really cool
I'm totally
character.
fine with it, especially because there may be a perfectly legitimate reason why she specifically was chosen, and we need to learn more about her.
Yeah, there probably isn't. It's probably just because they wanted to make it a thing, but I'm still okay with it.
Yeah,
more of cool characters. Put them all in everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else about this episode you want to, that you can mention or that you liked?
I mean, Muchi is cute. Yeah. I think this episode established that baby Rancors are cute.
Yeah, I guess so. Not really, but I don't agree necessarily. I
mean, are you not going to buy the new Muchi plush available online? Or it feels like they could sell a Muchi plush now.
I was made to understand that Star Wars, since the original one, has been making things specifically so they make toys like Ewoks and all these damn and porgs and stuff. And I don't like any of them. I hate all of them. Okay, I don't like any of these forced cute things that exist. Freaking, what is it? The freaking, what's it called? The cats, the stupid cats from freaking Rebels.
Those, I can't remember what they're called, but I remember those.
Stupid cat thing that just has to exist for no reason.
Why does this only exist in that show?
It only exists in that show, but guess what? More toys sell more toys. I will say this right now. I don't like that about Star Wars. I don't like cute things. It's just not my thing. And they just make a point to just try and make them exist so they can sell toys. That's it. That's the only reason they exist.
What about Grogu?
I think Grogu's been an overhyped thing too. It was cool. Hey, don't get me wrong, okay? Baby Yoda, amazing, right? Everybody thought that was great. Way overhyped. It's just Baby Yoda. It is kind of cute. Certainly not everybody literally lost their mind over Baby Yoda. It became the biggest thing since sliced bread.
It's one of those things where you heard of, at least for me, I heard about Baby Yoda before I got to see Baby Yoda.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why is that? I mean, it's not that it doesn't make sense that you would hear about Baby Yoda or something. Like, it would get around like, oh, there's like a new Yoda or something.
I watched that episode maybe within within a week of it coming out, though. Like, it was like a day later that people were talking about Baby Yoda.
Yeah, I don't care for cute things. It's just whatever. And this is just one more look, it's kind of a cute baby Rancor. I'm like, what? They're reinventing a Rancor now. They're trying to make it cute. It's not even cute. It's actually still ugly. Like, it's just baby like.
Yeah. But
And you're not going to convince me otherwise of that. It's just
no, yeah, I mean, that's fair.
fuck porgs.
Porgs are cute.
Fuck porgs.
But they're cute though.
I literally would love to see a Rancor bite a porg's head off. Chewbacca should have eaten the porgs.
I kind of agree.
Yeah.
Chewie was hungry.
It's silly that he didn't eat them.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, I don't know if there's much else I can really, say on this episode or either of these episodes after all. And again, it's not to say there isn't maybe more to say, but I think I've said all the things that I had thoughts about on this one.
So one thing, I did have the previous reservation about how the show's not talking enough about Tech and Echo, and even Wrecker's just sort of comic relief. I hope we get more of that going forward. I'm going to continue to ask for that until we get it, because Tech is becoming less and less of a character to me, and more of a I'm here to help.
I understand what you're saying, and I agree. And I would like to see it. So far, it's really just like Hunter and Omega doing stuff, and occasionally somebody's kind of with them, and they're just existing.
At least Echo did something fun with the droids. But
we didn't get much more about him, but we did get, it is like a cool little thing.
And the banter came from the protocol droid more than him.
Yeah, really. Exactly. Now, I will say that this might just be a flaw in the fact that they're all clones. Even if they're all like special clones, like their personalities might only differ slightly. And that might even be one thing to think about, why they were all just so easily. Sid's like, it's not me. And they're just like, okay. Like Tech is supposed to be intelligent. Hunter's supposed to be like intuitive. Echo is also, I don't know that he's any especially smarter or whatever, but the thing between those two intelligence guys, they wouldn't go, might be lying. Like, I don't think clones are programmed to be good at reading people.
See, I feel like that was just a poorly written scene. Yeah.
I think it might be just like a failing of clones somehow, but maybe it is also just like they had to be distracted so that
Omega could be the one. Yeah.
Yeah. They're just trying to give her a little more something.
Well, other than that, I'm eager to see what comes going forward.
Yep. This was filmed on Thursday, so I'm looking forward to tomorrow's episode, and hopefully we get some cool Crosshair or something going on. I'd like to see a little more of him show up.
Yeah, I want more Crosshair. I want more of the Bad Batch in this show about the Bad Batch.
Yep, would agree. So, but until next time, folks, that's pretty much going to be it for now. And I'm Robert.
And I'm Ryan.
Have a good one.
I really just like saying Omega.
Yeah.